The dazzling rise and devastating cost behind a Notre Dame coaching legend's legacy. Frank Leahy's journey through American football is as inspiring as it is sobering. He didn't just climb the ladder of success, he practically built it himself. But here's where the story takes a turn. The higher he climbed, the steeper the price paid, both by him and the people he loved. In his compelling biography, American Coach, The Triumph and Tragedy of Notre Dame legend Frank Leahy, veteran sports writer Ivan Maisel shines a spotlight on both the monumental achievements and the often overlooked sacrifices of one of college football's most impactful figures. Anyone drawn to stories of ambition, grit, and the double-edged sword of relentless pursuit will find this tale hard to put down. Leahy represented many things. The determined Irish Catholic, son of hard-working immigrants. Determined to prove that unwavering effort could pave the way to the American dream. Notre Dame, already a legendary stage for Catholic athletes, became his proving ground. One where he outperformed even his iconic mentor, Knute Rockne. Think about that, surpassing a man whose myth had been cemented by a tragic plane crash. Yet, as Leahy chased victory after victory, a question lingered. At what cost? And this is where most people miss the true depth of Leahy's story. Maisel peels back the layers, inviting readers to follow Leahy from his humble roots in Nebraska and South Dakota. Fueled by a desire to prove himself to skeptical classmates and driven by promises made to his siblings, Leahy transformed early adversity into an almost superhuman work ethic. But is that kind of determination a blessing or a curse? The book reveals Leahy's early coaching exploits at Boston College, where he mentored names like Vince Lombardi and John Wooden. Yes, that John Wooden. And almost convinced the young Jack Kerouac to trade a future in literature for football glory. Boston College became an undefeated powerhouse under his leadership. Yet Leahy's greatest challenges and controversies waited in South Bend. Maisel doesn't shy away from the messier parts of the narrative. He clarifies where facts drift into legend and how Leahy's abrupt move from Boston College to Notre Dame and his later quasi-resignation left some fans and administrators bristling. What's your take? Were these career moves bold leadership or questionable loyalty? Inside Notre Dame's legendary walls, Leahy's intensity became infamous. While other coaches scouted and recruited tirelessly, Leahy cherry-picked from the cream of the crop, instilling in them his ironclad belief. Only those willing to outwork everyone else deserved success. Practices were so grueling, players joked they lasted most of the year. Yet, Leahy's single-minded focus often left little room for friendships with fellow coaches or the press. A potentially costly trade-off, professionally and personally. Maisel paints vivid scenes of both triumphs and torment. Leahy's record still astonishes. Over 100 wins combined at Boston College and Notre Dame, including a jaw-dropping 39-game undefeated streak. He juggled coaching duties with serving in the Navy, and once even continued coaching through a bout of pancreatitis severe enough to hospitalize him mid-game. But here's the part sure to spark debate. Could Leahy's hard-driving style exist in today's sports world, or would it be seen as toxicity? Despite his autocratic methods, Leahy did show a willingness to adapt, especially with veteran players who returned from war and with the few black athletes on his team. A noteworthy, if complicated, evolution. One of the book's most unforgettable scenes replays the epic 1946 clash between Notre Dame and Army, the so-called Game of the Century. Maisel's account of Leahy's emotional breakdown in the Yankee Stadium locker room after the game offers raw insight into the isolation and obsession that often come with genius. Can such all-encompassing ambition ever be healthy? Yet, Leahy's story is also a cautionary tale. At a time when Notre Dame football symbolized the very essence of Catholic achievement in America, it came at a tremendous personal price. Maisel movingly recounts how the burden of success wore down Leahy's health, strained his marriage, and jeopardized his relationship with his 8 children. As Notre Dame's academic aspirations began to rival its football ambitions, Leahy found his reign slipping, and ultimately his health paid the greatest cost of all. American coach doesn't sugarcoat the high-stakes gamble between victory and sacrifice. It balances Leahy's undeniable coaching genius with an honest look at the emotional toll of obsession. Maisel argues, with plenty of evidence, that Leahy deserves a place beside Knute Rockne, Bear Bryant and Nick Saban among college football's icons, even if, unlike the statues cast in their honor, he was all too human. But the big question remains for you, the reader. Is the price of greatness ever truly worth it? Or do some legends deserve to be remembered less for their victories and more for the lessons their struggles teach us? Share your thoughts below. Does Leahy's legacy inspire you, disturb you, or both? Let the debate begin.